Do you want to know what I think is the most versatile carbohydrate around? Well, stay tuned, because not only am I going to tell you, I'm going to show you so many ways you can use it. You are going to be mind blown. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jen, and this is A Better Life with Jen. Now, if you know me, you know I love carbohydrates. I use them to fuel my runs, fuel my gym performance. I just think they're fabulous. And my favorite carbohydrate of any of the classes of carbohydrates is bread products. You name it, I love it. Bread, rolls, bagels, English muffins, anything. But my absolute favorite bread product is tortillas. So many people will say that potatoes might be the most versatile carbohydrate. I mean, if you think about it, there's so many things you can do with potatoes. Heck, you can even make vodka. But I would take a bread product over rice, potato, pasta any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So in today's video, I am going to show you how many things you can do with tortillas. You can use tortillas for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snacks. You can roll them, you can fold them, you can toast them, you can do everything with them. So stay tuned today as we go through so many different ways that you can use tortillas for every meal. Now, my favorite tortillas are these ones that I get at Costco, and these are La Fortunitas. So I love this bag. These tortillas are nice and soft. I love a soft tortilla. They have a great flavor, but they're also really cheap. So this bag is 30 tortillas, and it's $3.79. So that's less than 13 cents per tortilla. I also really like them because they are a little bit lower in sodium than some other tortillas. If you look at some tortillas, they're sky high in sodium. And these only have 220 milligrams of sodium per tortilla, which I've seen tortillas up to 500 and 600 milligrams of sodium. So just something to be aware of if that's something that you watch. They're a good size tortilla. They call them jumbo. They're a really great size. Each tortilla has 4 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbohydrates, and 5 grams of protein. So let's get started and see what we can do with the tortilla. All right, so this recipe that we're gonna make using the versatile tortilla, I am gonna use as a lunch, but it could just as easily be turned into a dinner, and it's gonna come together in just a few minutes. Because if you've seen my other videos, you know I don't have time for meals that take lots of steps and lots of time. I like quick and easy. So I started off with these real good chicken strips. I absolutely love these. They have a super light breading with chickpea flour. Really, really great. I get this big bag at Costco. I love these. I throw them in the air fryer, 10 minutes. You don't have to do anything to them. So I had some of those, and then I just kind of roughly chopped them up. I have one of these little guacamole cups, some salsa, and some greens. So what we're gonna do is take the guacamole cup, and just spread some of this on the tortilla. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the chopped up chicken. I let it cool for just a few minutes so it's not super hot. Just gonna spread this on there. Make sure I get all the crumbs of breading because that's like the best part. And then I'm just gonna put some greens on it for some crunch. You can use whatever you like. Lettuce, cabbage, they all work. I just happened to get this little salad kit. It was on clearance at the grocery store. It cost me like 50 cents. And this one is a mixture of red and savory cabbage, green leaf lettuce, shredded broccoli, carrots. So just gonna add a little bit of crunch. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on. You can use as much or as little as you want. This is really just, you know, super easy and kind of make it as you like. And then I'm just gonna add some salsa for a little more flavor, but feel free, put cheese on it. If you have some queso sauce, anything you want on there would be great. Sour cream, you can use Greek yogurt as a really healthy sour cream substitute. That works great. So just gonna put a little bit of the salsa on it. And then we just Wrap it up, roll it up, however you want. You can eat it as a wrap where you would just kind of roll it. Every time I try that, stuff falls out the ends. So I always sort of wrap these up almost as if they were a burrito, but they're not necessarily, you know, burrito fillings. It just kind of keeps everything contained and makes it less messy. These also can be made ahead. So everything in here is, you know, cool. You can make these ahead, wrap them in some tin foil, throw them in the fridge, and then take it to lunch, to work for lunch. Really easy, easy to eat. Just need one hand, really. So there it is. There is the chicken guacamole wrap. Really great, and as you saw, it came together in no time flat. So the next tortilla meal is also one that could be used as lunch or dinner, and it is another wrap. And this time it's going to be a chicken hummus wrap. So what I have for the ingredients are just some shredded chicken breast. Super easy. I just throw an entire package of chicken breasts in the slow cooker. I don't add anything to it. Turn it on, cook it for like 4 to 6 hours until it's basically falling apart, and then shred it up. So I have some of that. I have just one of these little single serving cups of hummus. And then I just chopped up some green bell pepper and some yellow bell pepper just for a little bit of color and a little bit of veg. And then I have some spinach also for a little bit of veg. So it's gonna go together super quick, super easy. Just gonna spread the hummus on the tortilla. Just gonna lay the spinach down first. And then just spread some of this shredded chicken breast. And then just add the yellow and green bell pepper for a little bit of color, a little bit of crunch to it. And then we're just gonna roll this one up. I like to tuck the ends in so that things don't fall out when you're trying to eat it. And there you can see the chicken, the spinach, the hummus, the tortilla has all of the components of a complete meal: the carbohydrates from the tortilla, healthy fats from the hummus, the protein from the chicken, and then a little bit of veg and a little bit of crunch in there. So enjoy this lunch. So this one is going to be a breakfast using the tortilla. Now, everyone has probably seen at every fast food restaurant, they have some version of a breakfast sandwich, a bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese, either on a biscuit, a muffin, whatever. So I'm gonna do a similar one with a tortilla. So what I have here is just one of these great tortillas. And then I just cooked up a couple egg whites and kind of folded it over almost like you would make an omelet. So just a couple egg whites there. I have a piece of turkey bacon here that I cooked up. And then I have just a slice of mozzarella cheese. I just buy the pre-sliced stuff because it's easy and, you know, there's no time involved. And then I just broke it in half so that it's gonna be a little longer on the tortilla. And basically I'm just gonna layer everything, roll it up, and eat it as a roll up, but this is gonna be a breakfast roll up. So I'm gonna lay the bacon first because it's the flattest. And you could use sausage, you could use whatever you want, you could use any type of cheese, you can do it with scrambled eggs. I just happened to cook this kind of like an omelet and just sort of folded it over. So I'm just gonna slide that on top of the bacon. And then I'm just gonna lay the cheese, and like I said, I just broke it in half so that it was a little longer on the tortilla. Now, something that would be really good is then to roll this up and then maybe throw it on a warm pan, heat it up a little bit, get that cheese. The egg and the bacon are still warm, so the cheese is gonna be a little bit soft, but not exactly melted. But if you wanted it melted, it would be great just to either throw it in the microwave or throw it on a warm pan. But I'm just gonna go ahead and roll this up just like you would any wrap. And then here we have our breakfast bacon, egg, and cheese roll up using a tortilla. All right, so this next thing that I'm gonna make using a tortilla can be used as a pre-workout snack, post-workout snack or just a snack any time of day. Also would make a great dessert. I'm using this as a post-workout snack. After my workout, I got a quick shower, and now I'm gonna make this. It's great post-workout or pre-workout because it has a really nice dose of carbs, a little bit of protein, and very little fat, which is what you want pre and post-workout to really help get those carbs to the muscles. But like I said, this would make a great dessert or snack anytime. And essentially what it is it's gonna be a healthier version of a peanut butter and jelly on a tortilla. Now, you could make this with just standard peanut butter and jelly, absolutely. I just like this version that's got a little bit of a healthier spin to it. So what I'm gonna use is this powdered almond butter. So they also make, this company, PB&J, makes a powdered peanut butter. I just happen to have the almond butter. I prefer that to the peanut butter. This is very, very low fat compared to regular peanut butter or almond butter or any nut butter. The only ingredients are almonds, a tiny bit of sugar, very, very little added sugar, and a tiny bit of salt. So very, very clean ingredients. And it's literally just powdered. You mix it up with a little bit of water. So I have it in this little bowl. I just mix it with a little bit of water. This stuff is also great to add to smoothies. Also really good to stir into a yogurt. Just stir in the dry powder into yogurt to get that sort of peanut butter flavor. But what I'm gonna do is just take this powdered peanut butter that I've mixed up with some water, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spread it all over the tortilla, just like you would peanut butter on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And like I said, you can use regular peanut butter on this or almond butter, any sort of nut butter, doesn't really matter. So I have that spread all over. And now what I'm gonna do instead of just regular jelly is I'm actually gonna use some fresh raspberries. So I have some raspberries here that I've rinsed off, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these on. Just gonna spread those out, and then I'm actually just gonna use a fork to kind of mash them down a little bit, almost like you're creating a jelly. Also, just fun fact, raspberries are an incredible source of fiber. So now that I have those kind of just mashed around, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this up. It's also really good instead of raspberries if you use bananas, and then even if you sprinkle a few little chocolate chips in there too. So that's a great one, especially if you have kids, they would really like that. Now that I have this rolled up, obviously you can just eat it rolled up. I do like to slice it and just have it as little slices. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a couple slices here. And there you have the little sliced up, healthier version of a peanut butter and jelly using a tortilla. So like I said, great snack, dessert, snack anytime. Kids would really like this. All right, so for this one, we're gonna use the tortilla as the base for a dessert. Like I said, you can use tortillas for everything. So what I'm gonna make is a variation on a s'more, but using tortilla instead of graham crackers. So I have here some mini marshmallows, some chocolate chips, and then some melted butter. So let's go ahead, put this together, and then I'll grill it up and show you how it comes out. So first I'm just gonna sprinkle the mini marshmallows on the tortilla. I've already sort of folded it in half and creased it so it folds really nicely. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle the chocolate chips over that. Have those sort of evenly spread out on half of the tortilla. I'm just gonna fold it in half. I'm just gonna brush it with some melted butter. I find it's much easier to use melted butter than spreading butter on it. Sometimes that can tear the tortilla. And then I'm gonna grill it similar to how you would like a quesadilla. So I just put butter on one side of it, then I put it on the pan, butter side down, and then I butter the other side that's up, and then you can flip it. So this is all nice and grilled up. The marshmallows and the chocolate melted inside. It looks really gooey inside. Kind of interesting because, you know, marshmallows puff up when they get hot. So as it was on the pan, it started to puff up a lot, but looks great, smells wonderful. So I'm gonna cut into this, and you would eat it just as you would a quesadilla, but it's a s'mores quesadilla. So once again, using the tortilla, this time for a dessert. And you can see the marshmallow is melted. It's nice with that melted chocolate, nice and gooey, just like a s'mores would be. Well, I hope you enjoyed some of the various ways that you can use tortillas. Remember, tortillas are for more than just burritos and tacos. They're for more than just Mexican food. You can use them in all types of foods, all meals. And like I said, I really think the tortilla is the most versatile carbohydrate there is. Let me know in the comments if you are going to try any of these recipes, you've tried any of these, or if you like to do something different with tortillas, because as you can tell, I buy lots of them. I get a lot at a time at Costco, and I'm always looking for new and interesting ways to use them. So let me know your favorite thing to do with a tortilla. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all of those things that help the algorithm. And as always, I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you next week with another video. Now go out and get yourself some tortillas.